Hi, I'm Tanya, and I want to talk to you about ubiquitous computing. This is also known as pervasive computing. Pervasive is a much simpler word, and it's much less of a tongue twister. So I'm going to explain to you what the word ubiquitous means, and then I'll probably use the word pervasive from there on out because it's less of a tongue twister. I just want you to know they do mean the same thing. I had no clue what the word ubiquitous meant. I had never heard it before in my life, so I had to go to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary online to find out. And according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary online, the word ubiquitous means to exist or be everywhere at the same time. Well, most of us know what the word compute means. The word compute means to find out something by using mathematical means. The word compute is the absolute definition of a computer. A computer uses mathematical equations to make itself work. And from making our computers, they were able to use these mathematical equations to make our cell phones, our laptops, internet, and all kinds of technologies that we use today in everyday life everywhere. And these developers and researchers have worked hard over many years to mathematically create formulas to give us the internet and other technologies, making it possible for our life to be ubiquitous with the internet or computing. Pervasive computing was first articulated by Mark Weiser in 1988 at the Computer Science Lab at Xerox PARC. His idea was brought up in the middle of two eras, and there's actually three eras of the computing world. Our first era came in when computers first came out. That was the mainframing. You had these big, bulky, clunky computers, and they came in like 6 or 7 different pieces to set on desks and tables and everything. And in the beginning, they were really only used by researchers and connected to the Ethernet because internet wasn't invented yet. They had printers, but the printers were big and clunky, and you had to sit them up high on a table, and they had these big pieces of paper that rolled through the machine, and you had to tear them off, and it had like 3 different copies. And that was the first era of computing. And that first era of computing moved slowly to where these computers weren't offered to just researchers anymore, but they were in businesses and a very, very few homes. And these businesses used them to store their how much money they brought in, or who their customers were, and addresses and stuff like that. And then we started entering the second era of computing, which is called personal computing. And in the personal computing era, we got computers in lots of homes. We got computers in lots of businesses, and these computers got a little bit smaller. They still had keyboards, they were still in multiple pieces, and they were still a little bit clunky, but they were nowhere like what they were beforehand. And during this era, we've moved to a place where now almost everyone has computers in their homes, and internet is everywhere, and we have cell phones and GPSs, lots of different technologies that we use everywhere every day. And so now we're kind of leading into the third era, which is ubiquitous computing or pervasive computing. And in this era, the main focus has been the creation of smartphones and smart products that are connected and making communication and the exchange of data easier and less obtrusive. Pervasive computing has been a difficult integration of human factors in computer science and engineering and even social sciences. Pervasive computing is the complete opposite of virtual reality. Even though they both sound to kind of be about the same, virtual reality brings us into the computer's world, and pervasive computing brings the computers into our world. For instance, if you go and do a virtual video game, you're going to feel like you're inside that computer. Well, for pervasive computing, the computers are in our world. They're interacting with us and doing the things that we tell it to do and helping us live our lives. Right now, we all have cell phones. And today, they're mostly smartphones. And we can drive down the road and get stuck in traffic and pull out our cell phone and look at traffic reports or the weather reports. No one wears watches anymore. We all use our cell phones for time. This is the integration of that technology into our life. We use it almost like we've never had, or we've always had it and never had to live without it. And that's the idea behind pervasive computing. They want to be able to bring the technology into our world to have it work for us and eliminate time-consuming chores. And like right now, they've just recently started where we could turn our lights off from our cell phone in the middle of the grocery store. We don't even have to be near our house. In the future, with pervasive computing, there's going to be even more of this. Our houses are going to be smart houses. Our cars are going to be smart cars. Everything in our world will be ran by technology. Our cans of food may have microprocessors in them so that our pantry can tell us what we're running out of and how much we use every month. We might not even have to go grocery shopping. Our world will be completely consumed with these products that are supposed to aid in our everyday lives. To some, ubiquitous computing sounds like a great idea. To some, it is not.